question of the week.
What do you like to do on a rainy day? I can tell you're so deep in thought that maybe we should see what Devo.
Yeah, let's actually play recordings for the question. And that's on me too. I'm not picking on Joe with that one.
All right, so let's see what Devo has to say on this.
I forgot about the question of the week last week, so I'm leaving it now. Mythical transportation, and that would be Falcor.
Okay, right. All right.
Never-ending story. Luck Dragon, just a luxurious looking piece of dragon there. Looks like a lot of fun. Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure. Like
and
how
even
you
I asked my
that.
wife, and she said the same thing. So it must be right. And for this week, what do you do on a rainy day? Try to do. I like to go and hide in my shop, work on my little projects. I've got 100 projects out there. Put around, put on, hey, Wise and Nerdy, listen to it. Or, I just, whatever. It's just kind of a nice thing to do. It gets me, in my headspace. I like that.
In my head. All right, so how's that different than any other given weekend, John? Because you talk about smelting and working in your shop. But okay, you just kind of enjoy the sounds of nature. All right, what else? Did we have other answers for that one?
Not from everyone else, but we have our own answers. So for me, assuming it's warm enough, it's just raining and not thunderstorms, I actually like to go swimming when it's raining, because you're going to be getting wet anyway. Yeah, I kind of like it. That might be a little out there. Obviously, if it's hail or thunderstorms, that changes it completely. The other thing I like to do, and this is going to be a little bit cliche, but just snuggle up with a book. I like it. Or just, play some video games. Play a board game. There's tons of stuff you can do inside with the family.
I mean, it kind of feels like it's Valentine's Day. You need that excuse to spend the time with your family because it's raining. Oh, it's Mother's Day, so we might as well get her a tie and some socks.
I mean, realistically,
because I believe in equality, and women can get screwed on Mother's Day too.
Wow. I mean, realistically, I'm just going to be sitting in my basement working. But we didn't say what I had to do. We were. The question is, what do you like to do?
Is it? I'm looking right now on my handy dandy side panel.
It is. What do you like to do on a rainy day?
Sleep.
Sleep.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
I remember when I was little, when I was young. When I was young, living in Washington State, where I lived on the southeastern side of Washington State, it's technically a desert. And so rain was relatively rare there. And so I remember I would throw on my bathing suit and just run out in the rain, just have fun when it would rain. Because it was.
He means the magic underwear, but that's okay.
No, I don't. And it was a novelty because it didn't rain often. In fact, I was just talking to my brother the other day, and we were reminiscing a little bit about weather patterns there because he still lives there, and we were talking about how you would see dry thunderstorms more often than you would see actual rain. And what I mean by dry thunderstorms is the lightning would bounce from cloud to cloud.
Yeah. We call that heat lightning, whether that's an actual.
Yeah, I don't know what the actual term is. Dry thunderstorms probably isn't the right term, but yeah, no, I have never seen it anywhere else, and I'm sure it happens in other places with similar climate, but I just haven't lived in places with a similar climate. And so it was a unique experience seeing it jumping from cloud to cloud instead of, striking down, which is what you normally assume lightning's going to do. But yeah, no, I
feel it coming round again.
There was one time when I went out and was running in the rain and it turned into hail, and I was like, and then ran back inside. because it hurt.
You had to I love the full on reenactment of that moment there that happened. Does your thunder roll when the lightning strikes?
Sure.
Cool. All right. So honestly, well, one thing I don't like to do when it rains is ride my motorcycle. But
I can't imagine why.
I mean, I'm always doing stuff. So it's if the power goes out, it's a little bit different, right? Midday when it's raining. There's a time or two when I lived in a different house and the power went out, and so internet's down. I can't do any work. I can't really do anything. And we had a chaise. We had a nice living room set up with 4 windows across. It was like a living room, dining room combo. We had this wall of windows, and so it was fun to sit next to the window, just chill. Like I grabbed a book or something. You know, it's probably the last book I read, which is 15 years ago or something like that. I mean, unless you count reading, I read a couple of short stories out of Southern Saudade by Bob Magoo, and I don't know if that
his birthday was this last week.
We're going to talk about that. I started talking about that pre-show, but I got distracted. So that was cool. But back, you know, we call it our single days. This is when Aaron and I were first married. We didn't have kids, and of course we weren't single because that's before we were together. But it's the days where we just could do whatever. And we had a porch and a porch swing at the first house that we were in renting, and it was a very nice covered porch as far as the awning and everything. And so when it would rain, we'd go sit out on the porch swing on the front porch with a blanket at like 2 a.m. and just enjoy the evening time and the weather and the stuff. But for the most part, I mean, it was I always thought swimming in the rain was interesting because, I mean, it's just dumb kid logic, right? Well, you're wet underneath the water and now you're wet above the water. What is that about? But yeah. And if you've never seen one of these dry thunderstorms like he talks about, or the heat lightning, it's really cool to watch, especially in a plane. In a plane, I don't know if it's lightning or if it's heat lightning, but we've been above a storm and you just see it just cracking everywhere. It's so cool.